Hello, I'm David. Welcome to our channel.
Hello, I'm Sophia too.
Welcome, everyone. So today we're doing a deep dive into a film that's really got people talking about faith, horror, and how they mix. We are looking closely at Immaculate.
That's right. Our goal here is to really get into the nuts and bolts of it, the technical side, that amazing central performance, and, how the director, Michael Mohan, used his skills to make something feel fresh in a genre that can sometimes feel a bit, well, familiar.
And it stars Sydney Sweeney, who Mohan worked with before on The Voyeurs. You can kind of feel that established connection, I think.
Definitely. So the basic idea, without giving too much away, is you have Cecilia. She's deeply, deeply faithful. She goes off to this supposedly picture-perfect Italian countryside to join a convent. Sounds lovely, right?
Uh-huh. Idyllic, almost.
Exactly. But that perfect surface is where Mohan starts peeling things back to show the dark and horrifying secrets hidden away. We really want to focus on how the technical choices that make this film stand out in Catholic horror.
Okay, let's get into that. Because religious horror, it often leans on the same old things, doesn't it? Exorcists, crosses turning upside down, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the usual suspects.
Immaculate.
Yeah.
It's real ace in the hole. The thing that lifts it up, it feels like, is Sydney Sweeney. She's just magnetic.
Oh, absolutely. She's described as extremely strong here, and I think that's spot on. It's a challenging role because she starts as genuinely innocent, so devout, just wants to please God. That purity is key.
And starting from that place of total faith, it makes her journey, well, devastating. It's not just plot, it's her character's core vulnerability, isn't it?
It is. She walks into this convent totally naive, thinking everyone's on the same page spiritually. She buys the whole image.
Trusts it completely.
Right. And that trust makes the breakdown, the shift so powerful. The story just sort of systematically pulls her world apart. As things unfold, you watch her performance track how a lot of things happen that completely tarnish her view of the entire world and her faith. It's that move from wide-eyed believer to something else entirely that holds the film together emotionally.
And this is where we get to a really specific technical point about her acting, something we should definitely highlight. There's this one shot late in the film. It's described as unbroken.
Yes, that long take.
It lasts for a very long time and demands, well, a lot of very big acting. It's incredible.
It really is. And that's the kind of thing that shows the difference between just a good performance and something really special. An unbroken shot, especially when the character is under extreme stress. It's risky.
No cuts to hide behind.
Exactly. No edits to catch your breath or reset. She has to sustain that raw, frankly exhausting emotion. It's called a very hold your breath moment, and the camera just locks you in there with her, sharing that awful tension.
It shows incredible control. The sheer focus needed to keep that level of panic and commitment going right until the cut. And it's just fantastic work. It proves she can carry so much without dialogue, just pure emotional force.
But, a performance like that needs the right support. It needs skillful direction to capture it.
Which brings us to the director, Michael Mohan. He's got a reputation as a very good filmmaker, especially with suspense.
He does. And that specific skill, you could see hints of it in The Voyeurs with the framing and the pacing. Here, he really leans into building suspense, actual palpable tension, rather than just quick scares.
Yeah, he doesn't just blast you with loud noises. It's more methodical, more atmospheric.
Absolutely. The film has a few excellent sustained sequences of suspense that really pile on the stress. Those scenes where you feel something is off, but the camera just waits. It makes the ordinary feel genuinely menacing.
Okay.
And that's where those other technical elements, the ones we sometimes forget about, become so important.
You mean things like the camera work and the editing? The stuff holding it all together?
Yeah, precisely. They're described as very good. And they really are. The editing isn't hyperactive, it's measured. The camera work often uses tight, almost claustrophobic shots, lots of shadows in that convent. It really amps up that feeling of being trapped.
Trapped innocence, yeah.
That technical skill keeps the tension simmering. It's the foundation, really.
So let's talk about the genre itself then. Catholic horror. I mean, let's be honest, it feels really played out at this point, doesn't it?
It can, yeah. It feels like there's very little that can be done that hasn't been done before. Finding a new angle is tough.
So how does Immaculate handle that? Does it just repeat the tropes, or does it find a way through?
Well, it uses some familiar visuals, the religious clothing, the rituals, the shadows, that sort of thing. But then it takes this really sharp turn into something much more visceral. physical.
Ah, okay, so less suggestion, more.
More explicit horror. This film is actually a lot gorer than you might expect based on the initial subtle atmospheric buildup.
Right. So the suspense is subtle, but the gore isn't messing around. We're talking surprisingly bloody moments.
And some moments that are described as very wince-inducing. It definitely commits to shocking you physically, not just messing with your head.
Okay, good to know. Any specifics people should brace for?
Well, there's a heads up given about hands and manual trauma. Specifically, if fingernails are a problem, just be prepared for that.
Oof, okay. Yeah, it's just hearing that. I think you paint a very clear picture there. That at least signals it's not just your standard atmospheric haunting. It's grounded in body horror.
For sure. But, speaking of shifts, we do need to address something that almost trips the film up. There's this tonal dip, right?
Ah, yes, the weakness. Where does that happen?
It's mostly in the third act. The film kind of swerves from this really subtle, subdued horror film into something that feels a big B movie.
How so? What causes that shift?
It seems to happen mostly because of the structure, you know? The point where the film feels it needs to stop and explain things.
The exposition dump.
Right. Yeah. Suddenly the dialogue gets a little, maybe hammy. It's mainly because a movie villain has to kind of present themselves and lay out all their motivations. It breaks that carefully built dread.
Yeah, that can definitely pull you out of it when the mystery gives way to a monologue.
It does cheapen the fear a bit when the villain has to spell it all out instead of just being menacing. But, and this is important, the analysis suggests that the strength of Sweeney's performance plus that solid cinematography and editing.
They pull it back.
Yeah, they essentially saved all that.
Yeah.
They managed to recover before that tonal wobble completely derailed things.
Okay, interesting. And one last point, the ending. There's some kind of reveal, right?
Yeah.
Mohan used a similar device in The Voyeurs.
Yes, there's a significant reveal of sorts. It's a narrative turn that really asks you, the viewer, to accept a certain interpretation of events.
So it hinges on audience buy-in.
Pretty much entirely. Your whole experience of the ending depends on whether you're on board with it. You have to accept the logic of that twist for it to land emotionally. Otherwise, it might just feel out there. It's a bold swing that defines the final moments.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for someone thinking about watching Immaculate?
Well, it might use some familiar religious horror elements, but it really stands out because of two key things.
Which are?
Michael Mohan's direction, he genuinely crafts that sustained suspense, and Sydney Sweeney's performance, which is just incredibly powerful and committed.
Yeah, if you want to see an actor carry some serious emotional weight, especially in that final unbroken shot we talked about, wow, this is worth seeing for that alone.
It really digs into that idea of corrupted innocence. And the title, Immaculate, it feels pretty darkly ironic by the end. It's a well-crafted film that manages to overcome that slight wobble in the third act.
All right, that covers our deep dive into the technical skill and powerhouse performance at the heart of Immaculate.
Stay tuned for our next video. So in order not to miss our next video, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell next to it to be notified of our next video. And if you liked our program today, like the video.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Bye.